Good morning, Pecan Grove. Today, I'm working in the garden. We've still got tomatoes that are still loaded. We got the worms off of them a few times, but you can see they didn't do a whole lot of damage. They kind of come in cycles. And so our tomatoes down here and up here are still doing pretty good. They're on their last leg now. Probably another week and a half, these tomatoes will probably come out. Danny's done started putting sweet potatoes in the place of the whatever we took out. We've still got a few carrots. They're going to seed, and Danny is going to try and save carrot seeds this year. We can still harvest quite a few in here because you can see there's still quite a few left. Tomatoes, I haven't picked tomatoes yet, but you can see these, how they're starting to yellow. They're going down fast. Got lots and lots of tomatoes. Once these come out, we're going to add sweet potatoes here also. Danny's done added 2 or 3 in here. This bed has absolutely nothing in it. I did put 1 okra. Yeah, 1 okra. And then it has our multiplying onions across it. So some of those will come back out and we'll see. This is my beans. Little creature here is wanting to mess with my beans. I hope he don't eat them. Not sure what he is. But these are the Lima beans. We're going to see if they do anything. They usually like heat, but they're looking pretty. They're green. I'll probably come through water after I get through picking, and then we'll leave it alone. These are the sweet potatoes that Danny put in a couple of weeks ago. Look at them. And yes, we have grass too, but that's the Deepsouth. The sweet potatoes are doing amazing. Yesterday was 101. And I'm going to tell you guys, these things were laying on the ground. They're green and pretty this morning. We've had a little bit of dew. For all of you that don't know what dew is, that's moisture that falls from the sky during the night. And it keeps our plants alive when we don't water as often. So all this needs a little bit of water today. We might get a rain soon. These are the jungle peanuts. You can see how tall they're getting. They're also blooming. Danny's going to come through, separate them as tall as they are now, put some dirt in the center here, and lay them over. But a good stand of jungle peanuts all the way down. Yeah, we got grass right where we at right there, but that's jungle peanuts all the way down, the whole thing. These are my beans. This is what I wanted to show you. A couple of things I wanted to show you. The beans are still producing. You can see in here. They're still producing, but look, this heat is getting them. And they still have some blooms, some stuff, but this is what, in the Deepsouth, this is what happens when it starts getting hot. We get this yellow splotchy look to them. The leaves die. They're old. I have been putting, or canning, I should say, yellow wax beans for a month and a half. And these plants, it's not worth trying to keep them watered, keep them alive, even though, I mean, look at this. I feel bad because this one's blooming itself to death. 101 yesterday, going to be at least that today, and that is the temperature. That is not the heat index. I don't know what the heat index is. The heat index has been 103 to 110 for 1 or 2 weeks maybe. But look at this. Y'all, I didn't do this. Danny didn't do this. We had a raccoon come through and totally destroy the sweet corn. Only had about 20 years, and they got all 20. So I got no sweet corn. That's why we were putting up the Danny corn. I put up quite a few bags. I get a 5-gallon bucket 3 or 4 times, and I got enough that we have for fried corn for the year. So, and I may put up some more. What I'm doing with the beans is I'm taking and pulling them off, putting them in my bucket, and piling them up. Danny will come back with the grapple, take it and take them off, they're out of here. And these 2 rows will become sweet potatoes. Y'all know he loves his sweet potatoes. And in this little enclosure here, more sweet potatoes. And you can see the leaves. Yesterday it was so hot. I'm talking very hot. I was outside with the grandkids. We were fishing in the heat, believe me. We come in by 2, but it was hot. The stuff on the trellis just never did really take off. These tomatoes looked awful in the beginning. They still look pretty pitiful. We've fertilized. We've done everything. One of them totally died to start with. The other one has produced. I've probably got a dozen tomatoes off of it, but the plant just looks weird. This one is doing what it's supposed to do, but again, it's like there's no foliage on it, and we've added the fertilizer, we've done things. I don't know if it's just the soil here. The cucumbers are starting to go up, but you see the heat, that is definite heat. It just hit it, and disease, everything hits them when they get there. But see, I'm actually getting cucumbers doing what they're supposed to do. See how green these leaves are here? They are producing. And they're looking good. I think it's just the heat. The heat's making our plants do some weird things. I've got enough. I've put deals, sweet pickles in the refrigerator, and bread and butter pickles off these vines. Even though they look a little weird, they produced. And they're still producing. So that's just a little update on where we're going with this. It gets so hot during the summer that Danny and I don't try to keep anything that I have to come out and pick and do. All this will turn into sweet potatoes. Every bit of it will rearrange the fencing. We've got the monitors over here. He's got them pointed toward the sweet potatoes so that if anything jumps the fence into the sweet potatoes, it'll set it off. We've got one down there on a tree that if it comes in on that end, and we'll probably put one on this side over here if anything wants to come in, because all this will be sweet potatoes in a couple of weeks, every bit of it. And Danny is feeding the cows. He's working on, we're cutting hay. He's going through cutting in fields that we don't have fenced, picking it up with the grapple, and feeding the cows. They're happy campers, y'all. All right, guys, I've got all my beans on this row and partially down the end of that row pulled. These right here are prettiest beans. They're still blooming. They've still got little beans hanging everywhere. And you can see beans in there all up and down, all the way. This whole section is beautiful. So I'm going to leave this section, but not because I want more beans, because I want more beans in the future. This is going to be our seed saving row. If you don't have other beans planted, you can do that. So we have no other beans, the yellow wax beans, the only beans we have in here. The beans I have over on the other end are limas, which will not cross-pollinate because they're not going to bloom till these are done. If you have nothing in your garden and you want to leave 3 or 4 plants or 10 plants, or there's probably 12, 15 plants, I'm going to leave them, and Danny will be collecting seeds in a couple of weeks, because probably 2.5 weeks these will be done in this heat. And they'll be dry, and he can collect these, and then this little section will go in sweet potatoes. It's all about crop rotation, what goes in the Deep South. These sweet potatoes, we can bring them a little bit of water, sprinkle them once a week or whatever. The dew falls in the mornings. They get a little bit of moisture, a rain, maybe once a month, once every couple of months, probably going on now. Sometimes it's 3 months we get rain in the summer. So, sweet potatoes grew last year and produced with little to no water. That's why this whole section will be sweet potatoes, and the other crops will eventually come out. Rotation, saving seeds, the yellow wax beans and the carrots. That's what it's all about. Learning your climate, learning what you like to eat, and what you can handle. Danny and I cleaned up the corn out of here, so I gotta come through. I'm using a weed eater, and I'm weed eating down the weeds because we're probably, I don't know if he's gonna even try to till this. There's no way, I don't think he can get his tractor in here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna weed eat down for sweet potatoes. And everywhere I found briars and different stuff, except for one, so I could show y'all right here. These things come up like crazy. And they will bloom and they will produce more. And right down there was a whole bunch of them, so I weed eated them all down. I've got it where we can lay our peanuts down now. I've got most of the weeds out. The sweet potatoes, same thing. Took all the briars out that I could find. And so it's just a matter, like here, there's a few weeds in this area that I've got to hand pull. A little bit of grass here, but once we do that, we leave this alone. And the peanuts will take care of themselves. The sweet potatoes will take care of themselves. Danny's feeding the cows the corn stalks, and he's coming back after the bean bushes. He's going to put those in compost. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.